You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, the San Francisco Giants did something I have never seen in my lifetime. For the first time since 1992, the San Francisco Giants are shut out in 3 consecutive games as they fall to the Padres tonight 8-0 at Oracle Park. Flat out embarrassing. No other word for it, just embarrassing. 6 total base runners for the Giants tonight and double-digit strikeouts yet again. Just utterly pathetic. An unserious team. What are we doing? And somehow it was a sellout crowd tonight at Oracle. Who is going to this game? You know, all the Padres fans just come up from San Diego for the night. I am very confused. Meanwhile, the San Diego Padres played 8 runs on 15 hits. What a life it must be to be a Padres fan right now in 2024. We'll break it all down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job, and thanks for making us your first listen following these Giants games. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play just $5. And as I said, this team completely unserious at this point. Like, what the hell is going on? It was a 49ers hat day out at the yard, so maybe that's why it was a sellout. Everyone rushing to get your red and gold San Francisco Giants hats. What the hell is happening out at Oracle Park? We can go through this one, I guess, and break down all 8 runs the Padres scored and all 0 runs the Giants scored. But I mean, I kind of just feel like going through the Mason Black stuff and then just letting you know the bullpen had a rough day. 6 runs for the bullpen. Mason Black only gave up 2 runs, however. So again, if you're trying to build towards next year, I mean, 3 consecutive shutouts is not something to build on at all. I don't really want to talk about moral victories after getting shut out for a 3rd consecutive day. I don't really want to talk about moral victories with the young pitching staff when you give up 8 runs. I don't really want to talk about what I'm looking forward to for next season when we got this same clown show running this thing next year. What the hell is happening with the San Francisco Giants? This is, I mean, various points in the season I have said that this is the new low for the San Francisco Giants. This right here, right now, has to absolutely be the lowest point of the season. I can't think of anything that has been more frustrating this year than watching this team just flounder offensively these last 3 days. I mean, it's been a season-long problem. Don't get me wrong. This team can't score runs, and all they do is strike out. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Again, for the Giants today, just 5 hits. They had 32 at-bats, 5 hits. That's 1, not good. 2, they had 1 runner that reached base via hit by pitch. That was Mark Canha in the first at-bat of the game, which I should point out the Giants quickly lost that base runner after they grounded into a double play to end that inning. 0 walks and 10 strikeouts. This team has no plan at the plate right now. And I love Pat Burrell, man. I've had a lot of really fun conversations with the guy over the years, especially when I still worked at KMBR. He was one of the more talkative people around the Giants organization. Like, a lot of those guys like to be pretty insulated. Pat Burrell, one day I have really fond memories of driving down 880 over in the East Bay and Pat Burrell just calling me up to talk shop about baseball because he missed my call trying to book him for the Murph and Mac show. I love Pat Burrell. I don't dislike the guy at all. And obviously the warm fuzzies that we get from thinking of the 2010s with Pat Burrell on the team and the runs that the Giants had then. But my guy needs to teach this team how to take a walk every now and again. Oh my God. We all can't profile as Pat Burrell at the plate with no home run power. You can't teach all these. You can't have Lamont Wade Jr. try and go and be Pat Burrell mini because he doesn't have the same type of home run power that Pat the Bat did. Seems like every guy is going up here with a all or nothing type approach. And I mean, again, Almost every single Giant struck out today. Lamont Wade Jr. Didn't strike out in his 4 at-bats. That's pretty good. Grant McCray didn't strike out in his 1 at-bat that he got. I guess that's pretty good. Walton didn't strike out in his 1 at-bat. Speaking of Walton, I made a joke the other day saying that maybe we'd see him on the mound in the bigs because he got some innings in the minor leagues. Well, we saw him up there today pumping 69-mile-an-hour fastballs, and I want to make a 69 joke about it, but I'm so frustrated, man. I can't even make these like dumb, easy, cherry-picked, 12th grade jokes or 12-year-old jokes anymore. Even though if you're watching the Locked On Giants postcast on the stream on the YouTube channel, which you should be doing, because I mean, you got to get the whole experience on the YouTube channel. You get to see my beautiful face, and you're probably wondering, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, what the hell happened to me? My beard just like melted off my face in the middle of this game. I went full 2007 Britney Spears. I got so frustrated with this Giants team, I just got up and shaved my whole damn face. I don't even know why I did it. I just was crawling out of my skin and needed a change in my life, a change from what I've been doing for the last however long this season's been since March. Oh my God, this Giants team is literally making me lose my mind. I feel like steam's going to burst out of my ears like a damn cartoon. And so I just had to, I'm just crawling out of my skin over here. I got up, just shaved my whole face. I got to, get all this losing streak stench, the shutout streak stench, just eviscerated off of my body. And maybe that'll be a change. The antithesis of mustache May, I guess, is bald face September. I don't know. No beard September. Got to come up with some better names. I didn't workshop any before the show. But point being, this Giants team is making me so stressed out that I'm doing wild stuff. And I'm sure that you guys are too. But this one was so incredibly frustrating. Not once did I think that the Giants really had a shot to win this game. I mean, let's talk about their at-bats. I mean, their defense was not very good. In the top of the first, the Padres score a run, single from Profar with 2 outs, and Machado doubles to score Profar. Throwing error from Ramos on the play, by the way. Let's get into this because this happened a few times. We saw a couple bad throws from Ramos in from the outfield, but I'm going to make the case that in this first inning, that one, not on Elliot Ramos. Of course, you got to find your cutoff man no matter what you're doing. You can't just airmail throws into the infield without, with reckless abandon. You got to hit your target. And the Giants are not the best at hitting their cutoff man. A lot of these outfielders will throw right by that guy. We've seen Grant McCray do it a lot. And I love the cannon. I love the howitzer that McCray has. But hit your cutoff, man. You learn that in Little League. Let that guy make the decision. You don't need to be throwing dudes out at the plate from the wall every single time you're up there. But this one, Wisely and Luciano were set up like the play should have been to third. And no, it's not. If you have a runner on first and you hit it's an off-the-bat double, like over your head off the bat, as an outfielder, you're coming up throwing home. You're throwing a base ahead. So if the batter hits a double, you got a runner on first. That's, do the math. 1 + 2, that's 3. And then you throw one base ahead of that. So you throw to 4. You throw home on the play. Elliot Ramos made the right play, the right read. But the Giants defense is completely not set up to do the right thing. They need a serious shortstop next year. I say this team is an unserious team a lot. It's entirely unserious to have a ragtag group of utility players playing shortstop. I like Tyler Fitzgerald. I like Brett Wisely. I even like Marco Luciano, despite what like half the listener base of this podcast thinks. I just want the kid to play better defense. None of those 3 players are long-term shortstops defensively. They're just not. And it's completely unserious for the Giants to like try and trick themselves and the fan base into thinking that what if these guys is going to be the solution defensively out there next year? We have seen time and time again that they just don't have whatever it takes to play defense at shortstop. You're telling me any of these guys look remotely similar to Brandon Crawford out there, remotely similar to Omar Vizquel out there? I know those are high bars, but let's even go back further. Remotely similar to Rich Aurelia out there? No. these guys are terrible. I would rather have 50-year-old, 60-year-old Rich come in from the studio and play shortstop half the time than what I'm seeing out there from the Giants on defense. It's been terrible. And then later on in this game, you see Elliot Ramos just kind of like do the exact opposite of what he did in this first inning, where he fired it in this first inning, fired it all the way to home. Later on in this game, Ramos comes up and just like, there's no one in particular he's throwing the ball to. He just tosses a lollipop into the middle of the infield to nobody in particular. Play defense. Like, I miss the days of Ron Wotus's steady guiding hand, taking this team to new heights defensively, of Brandon Crawford at shortstop, of a Brandon Belt just picking things clean. I mean, I imagine that dude, when he eats ribs, there is not a drop of an ounce of meat on there because he's picking that bone clean, just like he was picking all those balls at first base. I mean, Sandoval was never like the best defensive third baseman, but man, that guy played a much better third base than you would think a big boy like that could. By the way, speaking of Pablo Sandoval today, I saw on the Giants broadcast, we had a position player pitch in today for the Giants. Well, Pablo Sandoval, who's still playing like independent league baseball, got a start tonight like a real start on the mound, and he tossed 5+ innings. He only gave up 4 hits. He had like 3 strikeouts. What the hell is happening, man? Maybe the Giants should go out and sign this guy, because I mean, he also went 1 for 3 at the dish, and I mean, that's a lot better than 90% of this Giants offense did tonight. So I mean, the Giants just, I long for those days of having a solid defense where you didn't have to worry about things like cutoff throws, with things like, being able to make the proper throw in the proper play, being set up in the right position. Like, those were things that we would never even have to think about with a guy like Brandon Crawford as the captain of your infield. Who is the captain of this infield right now? Matt Chapman. I mean, yeah, he's a platinum glove guy, but having that guy be your third baseman, he's a little limited in how much he can impact that game. Yeah, he can play a hell of a hot corner, but your middle infield is the ones who are orchestrating all these cutoff plays, all of these double plays up the middle that the Giants have missed on this year. The Giants are an unserious team, and not having a real shortstop is something that has hurt this team time and time and time again this season. And here it goes again, hurting this team. I will say, Ramos, you still got to throw the ball to your cutoff, man. You can't just throw the ball where the guy's supposed to be and then point at him and saying, why weren't you there? That doesn't make any sense. You can't throw a ball to an imaginary dude. Even you got to throw it to your cutoff man, even if he's in the wrong spot, or, make sure that ball gets where it needs to go to that base. And that's just not what happened on that play. And then, as I said, Giants get a leadoff runner on in the bottom 1, ground into a double play to end the inning. In the second inning, runners at the corners for Luciano with 2 outs. Of course he strikes out, because that's what the Giants do with runners in scoring position. Then bottom 3rd, runner on second with 2 outs, Conforto. He strikes out too, because what else would the Giants do in this situation? Then in the top of the 4th, Padres get another run on a Bogarts solo home run, his 10th of the season for Xander, and Mason Black guts out that inning, finishes tonight with 4 innings pitched. Not a terrible day for Mason Black, but 4 innings is not what we really want to see from him. We want to see him go at least 5. 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for Mason Black. Not a bad day by any means, but not a dominant day either from the young kid. A typical day that you would expect from a young pitcher in the month of September who's just trying to get through the end of the season and work on some stuff. And that's exactly where virtually every single Giant is right now. Mason Black threw 79 pitches tonight, 55 of them, 4 strikes. He got 5 ground outs and 4 flyouts. So he did all right out there. I didn't really hate anything that this kid did out there. He didn't blow me away either, though. It seemed like a nice, even, steady game for him. His ERA also dropped by like a whole run today, down to 6.75, as he came into today with a 7.50 ERA. So overall, a decent day for Mason Black. Nothing, to get overly hyped about, but nothing to see there that makes you go, what the hell is this kid doing? And make you worry about the Giants for next year, which at this point, we're just trying to avoid worrying about the Giants, I guess, for going into next year. And then past that, the bullpen kind of imploded today. And I say kind of imploded. Let's say fully imploded today. They gave up 6 runs, all 6 runs charged to Sean Jelly and Jordan Hicks. Three runs to each pitcher. Jordan Hicks, man, has just completely fallen off a cliff in the second half of the season. The Giants need to figure out what they're going to do with this guy. That's another kind of interesting situation for next year. Is this guy going to be back as a starter in the first half of the season? Kind of seems like a waste to me if you're going to not even be able to move him to the bullpen in the second half of the year after he gets a little gassed out on those starts. They got to figure out a way to either boost up Jordan Hicks' stamina by, substantially, or this guy's got to, have a different approach where he's not starting as many games in the first half of the season. Maybe they use him as a reliever in the first half and as a starter in the second half, as opposed to what they did this year, where they used him as a starter in the first half and a reliever in the second half. We'll see what they do differently with him. Maybe they go to like a 6-man rotation and have Hicks make starts, every 2 times through the rotation or something like that, and have him primarily work out of the pen. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not to run it back the same way you just did this season, because that did not work. It clearly didn't work at all. And it was, we praised Farhan in the beginning of the year for this switch, for finding this diamond in the rough, the Jordan Hicks turn and move to a starter kind of move that Farhan pulled off. It seemed to be very successful early on. Does not feel that way at this point. Neither does any move that this guy made, aside from bringing in Matt Chapman. But we're going to run it back next year with Bob Melvin and Farhan. So we got to get used to it for one more season. And there's no hotter seat in all of Major League Baseball, I firmly believe, than Farhan Zaidi's going into 2025. It's going to be tough for the Giants to convince the fan base to trust this guy. But is there any other option? You're going to have to hope that this guy makes a couple nice signings in the offseason and is able to bring, some key pieces back like Blake Snell and others. So we'll see what happens going into the offseason for the Giants. But today, an embarrassing 8-0 loss. You give up 17 hits and 8 runs to the Padres. The Giants, 5 hits, 0 runs. 10 strikeouts for the Giants, no walks. They went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Did not have they were 0 for 2 for like the entire game until that 9th inning. They got two runners on in that 9th inning. I believe those 2 singles that they got in the 9th was also the first inning in this entire game where the Giants actually had multiple hits in the same inning. So ultimately a really pathetic, terrible, putrid, awful, just hard to watch, disgusting loss for the Giants. This team is, in danger of just completely free falling to the end of the season. They're 72-77 at this point. This team looks very much so like they're going to finish with the worst record than last year's team, which is really, impressive in its own right, because I think that this roster is a lot better on paper than last year's roster was on paper. But that's why they play the games, man. And that's why you got to push the right buttons. That's why you got to go out there and actually, prove it on the field, because the Giants have not been doing that lately at all. Let's take a quick break here on the Locked On Giants postcast. On the other side, we can talk more about how putrid this Giants team was tonight. And I'm really confused, man. I want to get into what the hell is getting people out to Oracle Park. I want to talk about the attendance, actually, of this and why this all matters, because all of this plays into the San Francisco Giants lexicon and how this impacts what the team is going to do with its owner or with its management, what this all means from the ownership perspective for this team going forward, with the fact that this team is in the middle of being so bad. They did something that they haven't done since 92. They haven't been this bad through a 3-game stretch since 1992. In the Giants front office, I don't think is worried a single bit about it. We'll explain on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is brought to you by Tonal. For those of us who thrive on getting stuff done, including workouts, every minute counts. That's why you need Tonal, the smart strength training system that takes the guesswork out of working out so you can make sure you're making the most out of every rep. Tonal is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps get you stronger. Powered by AI, Tonal learns with every rep so it can deliver workouts personalized just for you. Tonal learns from your movement and provides detailed suggested weight recommendations for every move with detailed progress reports. They even create personalized workout programs and suggestions or recommendations based on your individual goals. It's like having a personal trainer for you at home with you, as Tonal will optimize every workout just for you. And unlike traditional gym equipment, Tonal uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques. From professional athletes to the mom of three, Tonal is trusted by thousands who have become their strongest. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Tonal.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and man, I'm just taking a look at the chat, and yeah, a lot of people chiming in saying that, you know, this is not great. That this is, I would rather have Hunter Pence playing out there. Sandoval was clutch. Giants are a clown show. People asking what happened to the beard. The beard. The Giants, this is their fault. I went full 2007 Britney Spears, shaved the beard off out of just pure angst and anxiety in the middle of the game, trying out with the old, in with the new. Maybe like the old hair follicles had like bad juju, bad particles in them or something, man. Maybe all these like, maybe the beard was like catching the bad particles of these shutouts, and we just needed to get it off the face. And so that's what happened. I just went full 07 Britney Spears. I'm not proud of it, man. I look at me. This is bad. This is not a good look. The clean shaven face, not the best look for a Triple E. And if you're not tuned in to the YouTube channel, Locked On Sports San Francisco, if you're just listening on the podcast version, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see the hilarity that is what is happening to me right now because of this San Francisco Giants team and how bad they are, just making me go into like a real life downward spiral that's affecting my daily like life in what I'm doing with myself. This is bad, man. This is bad. This is how bad the Giants are. First time they've been shut out in 3 consecutive games since 1992. The Giants haven't scored a run since Wednesday. It is currently Saturday. Giants scored a run last on Wednesday, and they're not going to have a chance to do it again until Sunday, tomorrow. And who knows if they're going to do that. Today, Joe Musgrove just made the Giants look like a Little League team up there. He was just rolling. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. This guy just dominated today. And Joe Musgrove is no slouch. This guy has thrown a no-hitter before, no Joe down there in San Diego. They love him down there. He's a San Diego native, so playing for his hometown team. A cool story. Not so cool when you're on the other side of a Joe Musgrove masterclass, which apparently the Giants are just handing out masterclasses because it's what they gave out to Dylan Cease last night, was a Dylan Cease masterclass. And guys like, Aaron Savali has had 2 masterclasses against the Giants in the last month. Who the hell is Aaron Savali? You might be asking. You really don't need to know. Just a random mid-pitcher that just dominates the Giants just like every other pitcher has as of late. And this Giants team, doesn't matter how bad they are, fans still keep going to the games this year. And one big difference that I noticed this season compared to last season was the giveaway items. And everyone loves a good giveaway. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to go out there and try and get the giveaways too. I came on here after the Giants lost to that Marlins team on Sunday on the Buster Posey Funko Pop giveaway day. And I went out there trying to get one, and I didn't get my Buster Posey Funko Pop, but I still sat there and watched the Giants and the Marlins, which got to be the 2 most teams in all of the National League right now. Like, what other team? Like, could you think of a more boring, lethargic, worse to watch matchup than Giants Marlins in September of 2024? My God, I got duped, and that's what I feel like is happening to so many of Giants fans lately. Is you're just going out there just for the memorabilia. You're going out there because maybe they're doing a flash sale and you can get a $10 ticket and get out there or something before the end of the season. And it's, from the ownership perspective, butts and seats. And they've said this before. They want to, quote, more or less break even. That is what this ownership group wants to do. They want to make money. And if they want to make money, and that's their primary goal, and you're still going to games, even though the team is losing, well, then wins don't really translate to the Giants making more money. Having a good giveaway item does. You saw the Giants do the 49ers hat giveaway today. Well, they had a sellout tonight, man. Why? You could not make that make sense to me in my brain any possible way. It's not like you're showing up to this game because you just got to see the Padres. And I mean, maybe that is part of it. Like the Padres are a California team. There's a lot of Padres fans in San Francisco. A lot of transplants from around the world live in San Francisco. Visiting teams always travel well here. There's a lot of San Diego transplants up here. I personally have a couple friends who are San Diego transplants that are Padres fans that went out to the game today. But what Giants fan in their right mind is getting up for this Saturday night game? It is super foggy in San Francisco today. It was not the night. I mean, during the day, it was pretty nice. In the evening, that fog rolled in super hard. The Giants have been playing like they're, they belong in the Big West in college baseball or something. And they're just not an interesting team. Like they're striking out 10 plus times a game. You really want to go out there and just watch the Giants just fan at all these random baseballs that aren't even really close to the strike zone? Like, what is that? Who is going to this game? Who is actively saying, hi, I want to go to Giants Padres and root for the Giants on the heels of back-to-back shutouts, and the Giants just can't seem to do a damn thing on the baseball field, whether it's pitching, hitting, defense, anything. This team can't do anything. So if you're still going out to the game, I'm not going to tell you not to, because I mean, who doesn't like going out to Oracle Park? I like getting out there. I like just the vibe of the park. Give me a crab sandwich, a slice of Tony's, maybe a Pliny, like have a time. But just know that when you're doing that, it's just giving the ownership a little bit more leeway with this current management group with Farhan and Bob Melvin. And if you're a casual fan and all this just doesn't matter to you, then that's fine. Go have a great time. But if you're me and you're someone like me, you're probably sitting here thinking, now's about the time I stop giving this team my money. Now's about the time I stop trying to go and buy new hats and new jerseys. I've been saying all year long, I want a Jung-Hoo Lee gamer. There's a reason I haven't bought one, because this team has not given me any motivation or passion to like get more excited about them. Why am I going to go run out and spend like, 100, 200 plus bucks on some memorabilia and some merch? If I just like, what is motivating me to do that? Where is the juice with this team? It doesn't matter. None of this matters right now. And if you're going out to see this game, I'm sure you just went because you wanted that Niner hat. I am like 99% positive that at least half of the Giants fans out there today were just trying to get that hat. And that's cool if that's what you're doing. But this team does not care about wins and losses. I should say this ownership group doesn't seem to care about wins and losses. They care about the bottom line. And as far as sellouts go, today was last night was a sellout for the Giants, 13th sellout of the year at Oracle Park last night. I'm baffled, absolutely baffled. And last season, the Giants had just 3 sellouts all year. And it makes sense that, this team has much more recognizable names, but this team is literally worse than last year's team. The only real difference is that you can read some names on the back of jerseys and you know who they are, like a Matt Chapman. You got some younger, more exciting guys like Elliot Ramos, I guess. But that's about it. Wins and losses, this team's worse. This is a worse product to watch. Striking out all the time. All the time. You want to go out there and watch strikeouts for the team you're rooting for? I don't. I sure as hell am not doing that. It just doesn't make sense. But the biggest difference in this year's schedule versus last year's schedule is how many pretty cool giveaways the Giants got up for this year. They had replica jerseys. They had multiple bobbleheads this year. Really cool ones too, like intricate ones like the 100th splash hit one with Lamont Wade Jr. with the water cannon on it. You had a Camilo Doval one with a saves tracker on it, which now becomes completely defunct. Maybe it needs a holds counter now. You've had a lot of cool products that you've been able to pick up at Giants games this year. And I truly think that these, giveaways are just well-timed. You see the Giants kind of scrambling to add them as the year goes on too, like the Logan Webb t-shirt giveaway and things like that. that just seem to sprout up in the middle of the Giants playing really bad baseball. I don't think they're going to be doing these things if this team was good. If the ownership was able to save some money on some of these promo items and just put butts in seats because the team was good, maybe they'd be doing that. And then maybe if you're having, if you're selling out every single home game again, none of this matters. But right now, when the team is losing the way that it is and people still go to the games, it gives Bob Melvin and Farhan a longer leash from this ownership group. It just matter of fact does, because this ownership group cares about the bottom line more than they care about wins and losses. They've been pretty transparent about that. Not saying they don't care about winning. Like, I'm not saying they entirely do not care. But if you made them pick, I think we know which one they're picking. If they're choosing between wins and losses or putting more butts in seats, if you got to pick between the two, I think they're picking butts in seats and the dollar bills at the bottom line. And so that's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. And it makes me flat out not want to go to Giants games at this point. Truly does. Let's take a quick break here on the Locked On Giants postcast. We got to put a bow on this show on the other side, wrap it up, and we got to talk about just a couple more news and notes from this game tonight on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. And today's show is also sponsored by FanDuel, and you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you today. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get a free 3-week trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. How cool is that? Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app and use it for FanDuel's double your winnings for all of Sunday. Tomorrow, pregame moneyline bets. Profit Boost is already active right now. So view your account page now and learn more about your boost. We got action all over the NFL tomorrow. I think I got like 8 or 9 different point spreads I'm looking at. The #1 thing I'm looking at though right now, the Rams are getting points against the Cardinals. I know Puka Nacua is hurt, but my God, hammer that. Rams getting points against the Cardinals. Rams +1. I'm all over that, man, on my FanDuel account. Just visit FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, man, the Giants 8-0 loss to the Padres. This is embarrassing. I mean, the Giants haven't scored a run since Wednesday. It's Saturday, and we played a full game. They're not going to have a chance to score a run until Sunday, tomorrow. I mean, this is just the lowest of the low points of the entire Giants season. Very few positives at all from tonight. Very, very, very few. Mason Black, the positive for Mason Black tonight is that it wasn't a negative. That's the only positive I got for you today. To quote one of my friends, Marcus Boucher, who works on the Murph and Marcus morning show on KMBR. Don't got a positive for you, but can I give you 2 negatives? As you know, in the math world, 2 negatives make a positive. Well, can I give you 2 negatives? Giants, another double-digit strikeout day, and the Giants, another shutout for the Giants. So those 2 positives don't really two negatives don't really translate to a positive in my mind. But maybe tomorrow will be better. I don't know what else to say at this point. Like the sun will come out tomorrow. The world will keep on spinning and we'll all still unfortunately be Giants fans, at least unfortunately for the rest of 2024. There's still no team I'd rather root for, but my God, this is just so pathetic. This is not what I want to see from Giants baseball. This is not what anybody wants to see when they think about the San Francisco Giants. I don't think that this should not be acceptable. There should be a line in the sand at some point where, like, I know they're not the Yankees, and I'm not expecting the fan base to just show up in front of 24 Willie Mays Plaza tomorrow with like picket signs and stuff like they might do in New York if something like this happened. But have some pride in the black and orange. Like this is bad. Like, do your job. I mean, straight up, if you are a San Francisco Giant and you are searching for a reason to get motivated for the rest of the season, how about it's your blanking job? Go out there and do your job. You think I really want to sit here and do this show every single day after the Giants look so bad? Like, there are some nights I don't really want to do my job either. My very easy, enjoyable job. You got to have some pride in what you do, man. Show up every day. Come to work ready to do your job. That's all I'm asking for these San Francisco Giants. Have some pride. If nothing else, get selfish and play for the numbers on the back of the baseball card. Play for some pride. Please, for the rest of the year. Like, just have some level of fight. Show up like you're looking to actually maybe like do something and play a baseball game that night. Not like you're just waiting for the final out, for the 27th out, so you can just pack up and go home or go, hit elbow room or whatever. I don't remember what that club's called now out in San Francisco. But whatever you got to go do, maybe you got a reservation or Original Joe's or something. Like, can we at least play the baseball game with a little bit of pride first, get through that, and then go on and do whatever you got to do? The offseason's like 2 weeks away. Can we just finish out these last 2 weeks in like not a free fall, like not with guys getting hurt and in errors all over the field and double-digit strikeout games? And I mean, how about let's just like not get shut out for the rest of the season? If the Giants can go the rest of the year without getting shut out, I'll take that as a W, man. That's a pretty low bar. I'm asking for 1 run a game, maybe. We'll see if they can do that. I'm not entirely convinced they can. We'll see if the Giants can avoid getting shut out tomorrow, make it 4 straight. We'll see how that goes. As the Giants finish up the series against the Padres, they'll look to avoid the sweep in tomorrow's matchup on Sunday as they wind down this series. And we also wind down this Locked On Giants postcast. Thanks for tuning in. I got to figure out like some rapid beard growth solution so I can stop looking like I'm still in high school and I can rejoin the adult world. I'm sure I'm going to go get carded at every single bar I go to now for the next like 3 weeks. It's going to be so fun. So thank you, Giants, for making me go full 2007 Britney Spears, lose my mind, crawl out of my skin, and shave off my beard mid-game. That was a super fun experience. Man, I don't have any more facial hair. I guess I got to shave off like the hair on my head next time if this continues, man. So that's the risk that we run if the Giants get shut out again, is Triple E might be fully bald by the end of this Giants season. Thanks so much for tuning in on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.